I was doing a bit of tidying up and I found this parcel I haven't opened. It was delivered in July 19. It came from China and it contains a Glitchy Clock. This was something that was on Indiegogo, I think towards the end of 2018, funded at the beginning of 19. This came to me in July, but I think some people got them in June, and then I think some people haven't got them yet, so I don't know what's going on there. There's one chap who I know got one, a chap called Roland. He was the guy who told me about this on Patreon, so I ordered one. This was after I'd done that video about the one that looks a little bit like Nix's, but it uses side-lit acrylic panels. Anyway, here we go. Let's have a look at this thing and see what we think of it. Now, the one that Roland got, I think, fell apart on him, or at least some of the numbers did anyway, and he had to get some replacements. So hopefully mine is a little bit better made than that. Maybe that's the reason for the delay on some of these, but let's have a look inside this box. Now, I'm not too sure what these bits are for. We'll figure that out in a moment. A UK USB power adapter. Right, so it's 1 amp. I don't think I trust any of these marks along the bottom here, because look at this, using in room. Yeah, I won't be using that in my room. Okay, so let's get this out of the box. Right, so there we go. Well, it looks okay. Don't know if I ordered red or if that was even an option. Okay, so we've got a red metal top and bottom. 3 buttons here. On the back, the power input. And I'm going to guess that these are magnets, top and bottom here. And this therefore explains what this thing's for. If you're not a fan of the red finish, unscrew that from the side and swap it out for a black finish. Let's get the rest of the things out of here. Right, so in the bottom, our power lead, which I'm going to plug into my own adapter. And let's have a look at one of these Gixie tubes. I suppose we could call them tubes. Actually, that one seems to be falling apart on me. Let's be careful with this. Oh, yeah. Right, okay, so is that supposed to come out like that? Is this glass? Yeah, so that's a glass tube that covers the numbers there. It's quite a neat design, actually. And then we've got the connectors there, 3, and then a magnetic front and back. So let's just see if it is magnetic. Yeah, there we go. It orients itself as well, just fits in like that. Okay, that's nice. Let's see if the next one is falling apart like that first one was. Oh no, you see that one's glued together. Yeah, so perhaps not the best construction going. Yeah, some of these are a little bit loose. Right, so other than the loose glass tubes on these, there's some wobble more than others. I can't quite understand why that is. Let's have a look. It could be that those are a little bit recessed, the magnets in there. Let's just have a look at one of the ones that doesn't wobble as much, just to confirm that. Yeah, seem pretty similar. As you can see there, I've got a bit of a wobbly one. Let's just swap it over, just see if it's the base that's causing the problem. No, we've got a wobble there. Now, I suspect this won't look too good with the lights on, but hopefully we can still see it. I can see something, that's for sure. Okay, now that end one is doing nothing. Okay, getting off to a good start here. Let's turn the lights down. Yeah, it seems like Roland wasn't the only chap who got a dodgy one. Right, so, oh, it seems better in that position. Yeah, a little bit flaky. Okay, well, maybe it should be called the Glitchy Clock. Right, the instructions don't make much sense. It says use the plus and minus buttons to change the colour. There's no indicators on any of these buttons as to which is plus and minus, but hold that one down, you can see the colour cycles through, and hold that one down, it goes presumably in the other direction. Right, so this button on the right then, well, you can see by the flashing that's going to be changing the time. What you'd normally expect, you hold that down to indicate the numbers, and then you move them up and down with the plus and minus, and then you tap it to move it along to the next set of digits. Well, if you tap it, it turns the thing off. So to turn it, you have to turn it on again, and then you have to hold it down to get to your digits. So it's now 3, 43 I think it is. So let's go to there, and then you, instead of just tapping this M1, you hold it down. Okay, hold it down again to get to the seconds, and presumably hold it down to set it. And there we go. Right, finally we've got the time set. I've just read here, number 4, there is a switch under the tube of the second. Toggle switch to switch the time system to 12 or 24 hours. Now, does that mean it's under the second tube or under the seconds? Place your bet. So I'm going to say it's under the seconds. And it is. There we go. You can see a little switch there. Right, so let's change that switch to 24-hour mode. So that should be 15:45. So you can see I've got the seconds pretty well synced between the real time and the time on the clock here. It's a little bit tricky to get it exactly right, because when you're setting the time you have to hold down the set button for a couple of seconds at the end before the time starts advancing, by which time the real time's moved on, so you have to press it a little bit early. But I think that's pretty close. Okay, who can spot the problem? Yeah, I've had one of them fail. It was acting a little bit odd, and now it just won't light at all. You can see if I swap them round, this one still lights in that position, but this one doesn't want to light in any other position. I don't know if you can see, but the screw heads on here are a little bit stripped, which doesn't inspire you with confidence. But it doesn't want to light up anymore, that's for sure. It's had enough of that. What I wanted to show you though was this colour changing mode. Let me just turn the lights down again. If you double tap this button here on the right, you get into a bright white mode. Then the next one's a colour cycling mode. Starts off at yellow and then it works its way through the colours. Can't wait for all of that. We'll double tap it again. This is a multicolour mode, which this is now ruining, but every one of these should be a different colour, and then it cycles through them as well. And then there are a couple of pretty useless modes. That, I don't understand why that's there. That's all it does. It never stops on the time. It just does that over and over again. Similarly, this one just does it a little bit quicker, but all in one colour. And then this one goes from the outside to the inside while changing colours. So yeah, those would make more sense if it actually displayed the time every now and then, but as it is, they don't. Now, I know they're Phillips screws, but I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver on them because of their stripped nature. It should just get a bit of a better grip. Okay, let's take a look at this now. And there we go. Okay, so first thing, they've got self-tapping screws in here, which then go into the top section, which, as we saw before, comes apart as well. Actually, that's all going to slide into pieces, so we're not going to do that. We'll put that back on there, line it all up. Right, and we'll have a look at this. This is where the problem is. You can see how the LEDs are numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then it goes 7, 8, 9, and 0 there. And of course, those line up with the legs of the acrylic panels. Well, I've had a look at it and there's nothing obvious that's wrong, but then again, there's not much to see either. So I can't fix it. What I'll do, I'll just put it all back together again, put the tube back on here. After I put it back on, one of the magnets fell off the base. It's stuck to the front there. So that's another problem we've got. Still not working though, of course. Right, I can see what the problem is now. It only lights up when it gets to 0. It's a pity it doesn't do 0 and 1, because I could just swap it out for the first tube. I mean, I'll put it over there anyway, because that's where it's going to do the least amount of harm. But yeah, oops, and that one's falling apart. And the magnet fell off on that one, so I need to swap the magnet over. This, you know what, I'm kind of losing patience with this, as you can imagine. Okay, so here we are, it's the next morning. If you can't tell, that's 10:32. So you can see we haven't really gained or lost any time overnight, which is good news, but it's perhaps the only good news. The whole thing is a little bit flaky, you really have to be careful with it, and of course these tubes, some of them aren't glued together properly. Yeah, just not really ready for prime time, this one, I've got to say. And also, if you put the lights on in a normal room, this is quite low now, it does get a little bit difficult to read some of the digits, especially as they get towards the back. So, yeah, okay, a reasonable idea for a concept, having these removable tubes that are a little bit like Nixie's, just magnetically attached like that. But as you can see, oh, that one's gone now as well. Yeah, And then we've got that one where the magnet fell off it. And as I say, we've got these ones where the tops are falling off. So yeah, hopefully they've improved their quality control since they made this one. That's all I'm going to say on that. And that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching. I seem to have lost the lot now. Let's reboot it.